Number 14. X times x plus 1 minus 56 equals 4x times x minus 7. What is the sum of the solutions to the given equation? Okay, this is one where their explanation, I'm going to look at my notes here to remind myself that they did. Yes, okay, that is what they did in their explanation. I do not agree with their explanation. I think it's way harder than it needs to be. The sum of the solutions. Just looking at this right off the bat, I say, okay, this is going to be a quadratic, because when I distribute this on the left, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Let you see it a bit better. I'm going to get here, I'm going to get x times an x squared. Over on the left side, 4x times x, it's also going to have an x squared with it. So I have a quadratic. When I am solving a quadratic, the solutions to that quadratic are where that quadratic or that parabola crosses the x-axis. Like there, that's 2 solutions. Something like this would be no solutions because it doesn't cross. Or you can have just there, that's 1 solution where it touches at just 1 point. So this one, it's saying the sum of the solutions. So they're basically telling us this one has 2 solutions. It's going to cross, the parabola is going to cross the x-axis, and they want to find those 2 solutions and add them together. Okay. The way that they did it, I'm actually going to show you my ways first. There's 3 ways. I think any of these 3 will serve you better than the way they explain it. First way, doing it mathematically if you want to write it out and find the solution to these equations on paper. First, you're going to simplify this and get it everything on the left and it equal to 0. That's always going to be your first step when you're talking about solving quadratics through either factoring or the quadratic formula. Okay, so 4x times x minus 7. Okay, distribute. X times x is x squared. X times 1 is x, then minus 56. On the right, 4x times x is 4x squared. 4x times negative 7 is negative 28x. Now, I need this all to be equal to 0, so you either need all of these to go over here, or I need all of these to go over here. It does not matter. You will get the same answer either way. So, I'm just going to move everything over here to the left. Again, doesn't matter. So first, to move that 4x squared, I'm going to subtract 4x squared from both sides. And that gives me a negative 3x squared plus x minus 56 on the left. And that negative 28x on the right. I need a lot more room here. There we go. So then I am going to add the 28x to both sides. And that gives me a negative 3x squared plus 29x minus 56 equals 0. Okay, at this point, there is a lovely little shortcut that I really recommend you learn. The sum of the solutions of a quadratic is equal to negative b over a. That's it, negative b over a. Do not confuse this with the axis of symmetry equation, which is x equals negative b over 2a. That is the axis of symmetry. That's when you're trying to find the line that goes straight down the middle of a parabola. So it's very close. They are separate. Remember them both, but keep them separate in your mind. Okay, so that's axis of symmetry. This is the sum of the solutions. There's also one for the product of the solutions, and that is c over a. And when we're talking about a, b, and c, we're referring to when you say ax squared plus bx plus c, so that a, b, and c, make sure you include those signs with them, are the numbers that are next to the variables. So in this case, negative 3 would be my a, 29 would be my b, and negative 56 would be my c. So we want the sum of the solutions. So let's use our negative b over a. Our b is 29, so negative b, or the opposite of that b, would be negative 29 over a. My a is negative 3, so it's 29 over negative 3. And those negatives cancel out, so 29 over 3. That's it. That's your answer. That's it. That's it. Just pretty straightforward. Yeah, so you're just distributing at the top, getting everything over to the left, so it's in that ax squared plus bx plus c. Then you put the opposite of b over a, and you have your answer. Another way to do it is graphing. There's two ways, actually, that you can graph it. I would say once you get to this point, that negative 3x squared plus 29x minus 56, if you get to that point and then go, I don't know how to factor that. I don't want to do the quadratic formula, or I'd say know how to factor, but just like, I don't want to bother with factoring that. It's going to be a monster to factor. And let's say you don't remember this handy dandy negative b over a is your sum. Then at that point, you can even just switch over and graph it. Negative 3x squared plus 29x minus 56. And if you graph it in Desmos, you're going to get that the two solutions there are 2.6 repeating, or 2 2/3, and 7. So you can add those together. The sum of those together would be 9.6 repeating, which is the same as 9 2/3, which is the same as 29/3, which we said was the answer. All three of those are acceptable answers. You can input any of those three and you will get it right. The other way you can do it is right from the beginning. Just plug that whole thing in. Just be very careful because it's a little more complicated. There's a lot of parentheses going on. Just make sure that you typed it into Desmos exactly right. And if you do that, Desmos will give you the solution in the form of 2 vertical lines. And it will tell you again, same thing, 2.6 repeating, or 2 2/3, and 7. And you add those together and you get the same thing, 9.6 repeating, or 9 2/3, or 29/3. Which all begs the question, what did the College Board want you to do? Well now, the College Board, I saw this, man, and I was like, ugh, why? Once they wanted you to go through all this, but instead of using the little shortcut of the sum of the solutions by negative b over a, they want you to put this into the quadratic formula and go through that whole mess. I don't even, but they're wanting you to go into the negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. We got some pretty big numbers here, so it's going to be messy. You're going to need your calculator. Opposite of b, opposite of positive 29 is negative 29, plus or minus the square root of b squared, 29 squared, minus 4 times negative 3 times negative 56, all over 2 times negative 3. This is just getting crazy, isn't it? Once you go through all of this, you're going to get back to the same thing. But you're going to get back to, you're going to have 2 different answers. And it's going to be that 2 2/3 and 7. And then you're going to add them together and get the 9 2/3, or 9.6 repeating. That's just so much extra. Doing that, that's so much room for error right there. When, frankly, I mean, I think either just putting it in Desmos from the beginning or starting with this one right here and going negative b over a, negative 29 over negative 3, or 29/3, done. Don't bother with all that. Yeah, so if you were looking at the answer to this one going, what, that's so much work. Yeah, it's unnecessary as well. Let's just get rid of it, because I don't think that's the right way to handle this problem. Any of those 3 other ways I showed you is better. Hey guys, if this was helpful or useful in any way, please let YouTube know so I can keep helping you and others like you. Comment, like, share, subscribe, you know the drill. Also, if you're interested in practical or fun math-related items like this math clock or this hopefully humorous t-shirt, click on the links down below to check out my Spreadshop and Etsy stores. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you have a great day. See you later. Bye.